I've been hearing a lot of Americans talking about leaving the country lately. Politics aside, the American economy runs on burnout and stress. So when I had to take a last-minute work trip out of the country, it had me thinking, what if I just didn't come back? Because this country gets more tourism than any other country in the world. So they've got to be doing something right. I'm talking about the land of baguettes and cigarettes, La Belle France.
I'm so tired, I can't even fully appreciate it, but it's so nice. And now I need a shower. Really bad.
Now, I'll admit, most of the time when I travel, I prefer less expensive destinations. Think Mexico or Morocco, places where the exchange rate will make you feel like royalty. I knew France would be a little pricey, presumably because it's more livable, and because I've been to France before and I've heard plenty of stereotypes about the French, I thought I knew exactly what I was in for.
There it is.
But once I started exploring both in cities and smaller towns and actually talking to the locals, what I found kind of surprised me. You see, France has this really thoughtful and balanced approach to life and health, one that I think we could learn a lot from in the US. So in this video, I'm going to break down some of the most interesting things that I learned about life in France. The good, the bad, all from an outsider's perspective. And maybe I'll discover that the French grass really is greener. And by the time you watch this video, I'll have a French visa. Or maybe I'll miss the US despite all its flaws. Let's find out. Okay, the French do not mess around when it comes to lunch. In the US, we eat alone at our desks or shove a granola bar in our mouths while banging out a Slack message. But in France, that's considered kind of sad. Most people take a full hour, sometimes two, to sit down, have a proper meal, usually with company, and then go back to work. It's not seen as a waste of time or inefficient, it's just normal. Eating while working is actually kind of frowned upon. They believe that taking your time to enjoy your meal makes you better at work, not worse. So if you're French and you're watching this, know that I absolutely did not make myself a peanut butter and banana baguette sandwich and inhale it while working at my hotel room desk. Never happened. I was taking a walk one day and I started noticing how mad everybody looked. Just these like deadpan, angry faces, and it looked like everyone was having a really bad day all the time. A whole country of RBF. So then I started doing some digging, and apparently this is just a stereotype about Americans. On Reddit, someone asked, what's a dead giveaway that someone is American? And I think one user summed it up really perfectly. When a stranger on the street smiles at you, you A, assume he's drunk, B, he is insane, or C, he is American. I definitely got some crazy looks in the morning when I would go for a walk and just smile at somebody and say good morning. But unlike the Europeans, I don't think this is like fake to do this. I just think it's friendly and helps us feel connected to other people.
Climbing up the hill to do something kind of touristy. See the Notre Dame. There it is. Got here right at noon.
I recently made a video talking about upstate New York and how the main reason that I love living here is that it's pretty affordable and I don't have to live paycheck to paycheck. It allows me to save most of my money for an early retirement. Well, the French, as it turns out, completely agree. The household savings rate in France is between 17 to 18% of gross disposable income. In the US, it's about 4%. Overall, they do a much better job at living below their means and spending money more intentionally. What I still don't understand is how they're able to save more money, eat healthier, and dress way better than us. So I don't know, maybe a French person can comment below and help me figure this one out. Yeah, the stereotype is true. A lot of people smoke in France. Statistically, they smoke more than twice as often as Americans, which is pretty crazy. It's very casual. Teens, adults, and even people who are otherwise healthy still smoke. I was also seeing a lot of people vaping, which is just as concerning. That said, things are changing. Some cities are starting to ban smoking in public parks, and there's talk of phasing it out for younger generations, similar to what New Zealand proposed. So the culture is slowly shifting. But in my mind, that's definitely a big problem they gotta address. Wine is everywhere. At lunch, at dinner, at cafes in the afternoon, and somehow people are not stumbling around drunk all the time. The key is moderation. The wine isn't about getting wasted, it's part of the meal. It's sipped slowly and appreciated, and often paired with food that enhances it. It's a very different relationship with alcohol than we often see in the US. I will say I love wine, I really do, but about a year ago, I got a smartwatch that tracks my sleep, and without fail, anytime I have just a single glass of wine, anytime even remotely close to bedtime, my sleep score goes way down because it does impact your body's ability to get REM sleep. So I'm probably not gonna be drinking as much as the French, especially because it's so much cheaper in France than in the US. Like this glass of really amazing rosé was only €6 at a really nice restaurant.
See, the sky is so dark behind me. I'm heading back to my hotel so I don't get poured on again.
Carbs are not the enemy in France. Bakeries or boulangeries are basically on every corner, and most people stop in daily. Baguettes, croissants, fresh pain au chocolat, these are the staples. And yet the obesity rate in France is about half of what it is in the US. Why? Well, there's a few reasons. Portion control, they don't snack in between meals, they walk more, and the fact that everything is made fresh. No ultra-processed, shelf-stable, sugar-loaded bread. I picked up a baguette from a discount grocery store one day, and it was higher quality than 99% of the bread that I've had anywhere in the US. Almonds and dried cranberries in it, so good. Biking is a way of life in France. In big cities, you'll see people biking to work in suits and dresses, just gliding through the traffic. And in rural areas, it's like the Tour de France is happening every weekend. So much spandex. And their infrastructure supports it too. They have lots of bike lanes, low traffic zones, and even government programs to subsidize electric bikes. I'm all about biking when the weather is good, and while I'm not one for spandex and butt pads, I definitely want to get out on the Empire State Trail more this summer. The French are extremely picky about their food, but I mean that in the best way possible. There's a deep cultural pride in eating what's in season, knowing where your food comes from, and preparing it properly. Like if something is even slightly overcooked, many a French person will send it straight back. A lot of restaurants often grow their own produce, and local markets are packed with farmers selling veggies, cheese, meats, all raised or grown just miles away. It's not trendy, it's not farm to table, it's just the culture there. I stayed at a hotel that had bushes where fresh berries were picked for their hotel breakfast every morning. And they even had their own beehives for honey. French make my herb garden look like child's play.
It's a good apple.
The cost of US healthcare is about 50% more per person than it is in France. And US prices are rising even faster. The French healthcare system is built on the idea that preventing illness is cheaper and smarter than treating it later. Shocking, right? They have universal health care, meaning doctor's visits, hospital stays, and prescriptions are all heavily subsidized. There's also a big cultural focus on routine checkups, dental care, physical therapy, and stress management. I think our healthcare system is so broken in the US. Even though universal healthcare definitely has its issues, at least you don't get a $700 bill in the mail for blood work that should be fully covered under preventative care. Yeah, that happened to me. This one blew my mind. It is expected that you take extended time off. Most full-time employees in France get 5 weeks of paid vacation, and most of them take at least a full month off during the summer. Businesses plan for it. There's no guilt, no hustle shame, no, oh, maybe I'll just check my email real quick. They truly value rest, which honestly feels radical when you're used to the American grind culture. I was talking to an expat who currently lives in France but has worked for companies all over the world. And he said that the French work culture is by far his favorite. He's more productive because he's less stressed. Remember when we were supposed to get student loan forgiveness in the US? Well, France is way ahead of us. Most higher education institutions are funded by the state, and there's only a nominal fee depending on the level of study. The average public university in France charges 170 euros per year for a bachelor's degree, and not much more for a master's degree or PhD. Being debt-free is a huge priority for my husband and me, and we just finished paying off his student loans last year. So I know how crippling it can be, especially for people that are young and just starting out in their careers. The French Alps are a big source of pride for the French. In winter, skiing becomes a way of life. The resorts are massive, the villages are charming, and even kids grow up learning to ski on school trips. Families share vacation homes in the Alps so they can all come together and ski on winter weekends. It's really nice. I'm a very bad snowboarder, so I think that I would fall down a lot and hurt myself if I tried to go snowboarding in the Alps, but it's definitely a nice way to pass time in winter and make it a little more enjoyable. So, what did France teach me about life? That it doesn't have to be all or nothing. That balance isn't just possible, it can be built into a culture. That a glass of wine or a fresh baguette, a 2-hour lunch, and some real time off can all coexist with walking and biking more, eating fresh food, and taking care of your body. But will I be leaving the US for France anytime soon? I mean, I still like smiling at strangers, so I don't think they want me there.